Welcome to the Deep Dive. We're
Yeah.
the podcast where we plunge into a stack of sources to pull out the most important bits of knowledge all put together just for you.
That's right.
Today, we are navigating a really fascinating, sometimes, well, treacherous landscape,
Mm-hmm.
the world of miracle cure products.
Mm-hmm.
And our journey starts with this one product making claims so bold, they honestly sound like they belong in a fantasy novel.
Huh.
We're talking about a cream promising to cure everything.
Everything. Like what?
Okay, get this. Wrinkles, eczema, psoriasis, warts, moles, stretch marks, and enhance your breasts, and the kicker, cure breast cancer.
Wow. Okay. That is an absolutely astonishing list, isn't it? When you
Yeah.
hear something that audacious, it immediately signals we need to dig a bit deeper.
Exactly. So our mission in this deep dive is to unpack these truly extraordinary claims. We're going to scrutinize the ingredients, the marketing tactics,
Mm-hmm.
using this LBMLBM Bee Venom Cream as our case study.
A start case study, yeah.
Our goal is really to arm you with the knowledge to understand the bigger picture. These miracle cure products versus actual legitimate scientific research. We want to investigate how these claims of being pharmaceutical wizards actually hold up.
Because let's face it, in a world just overflowing with information and product claims, especially when it's about your health, your appearance, your money, it's just crucial to be able to tell the difference quickly between real innovation and, well, misleading hype.
Yeah, definitely.
We want to help you spot those red flags, save your skin and your wallet from what one of our sources brilliantly called weapons-grade nonsense.
Weapons-grade nonsense. I absolutely love that description. Just sets the tone perfectly, doesn't
Yeah, it
it?
really does.
So, okay, let's unpack this LBMLBM Bee Venom Cream. You mentioned the list. Eczema, psoriasis, warts, moles, stretch marks, breast enhancement, and curing breast cancer. It's just such a diverse list.
Mm-hmm.
But, I mean, seriously, how can one single cream possibly claim to do all of that? What's the thinking behind casting such an unbelievably wide net?
Well, what's really fascinating, or maybe alarming, is the sheer breadth of it all. Our sources point out this isn't just, covering all bases. It feels like a very deliberate strategy.
How so?
It's designed to appeal to pretty much every common health and cosmetic worry you can imagine. Think about it. The distress of chronic skin issues like eczema, the desire to look younger, get rid of wrinkles, even something as serious as breast cancer. It taps into this deep human vulnerability, right?
Yeah, the desire for easy answers.
Exactly. The universal desire for simple, all-in-one solutions. One article we read nails it, calling it achieving peak delusion in marketing. It basically preys on hope, making these huge promises where, real science often needs patient-specific treatments or just doesn't have that magic bullet.
And it looks like this approach carries right over to their testimonials. Our sources describe them as reading, and I quote, like fan fiction. Yeah, we're talking women claiming their wrinkles vanished overnight, their confidence transformed.
Mm-hmm.
There's even one really extreme example. A customer apparently used 6 bottles and plans to use it forever. It sounds less like selling a product and more like building a cult following.
Mm-hmm.
What makes these testimonials work even when they sound so completely far-fetched?
Well, those testimonials are specifically crafted, right?
Mm-hmm.
They aim for an emotional connection, a powerful sense of social proof.
Like if it worked for her?
Precisely. When someone reads, "My wrinkles vanished overnight," even if they're skeptical deep down, a tiny part might think, but what if? They tap into that aspiration, that desire for instant results.
The fan fiction part you mentioned.
Yeah, that comes from their often exaggerated, almost story-like quality. The product isn't just a cream, it's presented as a life transformer. And that example, 6 bottles forever, that's designed to suggest satisfaction so overwhelming it bypasses your rational brain.
Suggesting it's undeniably miraculous.
Right. It borders on magic, really. It's engineered to make you feel like you're seriously missing out if you don't jump on board immediately.
Okay, so if we're already seeing claims for everything imaginable in these almost unbelievable testimonials, we've got a first couple of big red flags right there.
Definitely waving.
But this next point we found, this is where it gets genuinely serious, actually quite alarming. One of the most audacious claims they make is that the cream is safe for bee allergic people.
Wait, safe for people allergic to bees?
Yes, because it's supposedly processed differently.
Yeah.
That just immediately struck me as incredibly risky. How would a normal person without, a medical background even start to assess a claim like that? Is there any way to tell a real breakthrough from something just dangerously improbable.
You've absolutely hit on a critical point there. This raises an immediate, massive red flag, like sirens going off.
Yeah.
For anyone with even a basic grasp of allergies, when a company claims a known potent allergen like bee venom can be made safe for allergic people just through some unique processing, that is deeply irresponsible. Frankly, it's dangerous.
It sounds dangerous.
One source we looked at immediately flagged this, and rightly so. They compared it to saying peanut butter is safe for peanut allergies because they processed it differently.
Wow, that's a stark comparison.
It is, because allergies just don't work that way. The immune response is highly specific. Even tiny trace amounts can trigger severe, potentially life-threatening reactions, anaphylaxis.
Right.
So without rigorous, independent medical trials, without explicit warnings from health authorities, making a claim like that isn't just misleading. It's a serious public health risk. There's just no legitimate scientific basis for it. It completely ignores the potentially fatal risks of bee venom allergies.
That peanut allergy comparison really drives home how serious that claim is. Chilling.
Yeah.
Okay, so beyond the safety claims, the marketing itself seems to have some classic tells. You land on their website.
Yeah.
Right there, front and center, last day, 80% off. It just screams, buy now or miss out.
Yes. And that, unfortunately, is a classic scam tactic. Textbook, really.
So it's not really the last day.
Well, what's particularly revealing is that while it shouts last day 80% off, our research and reports from consumers show these kinds of limited time offers are often perpetual. They just run forever.
So the sale never ends.
Exactly. We found reports of it running for months on end. It basically becomes the normal price. It's purely designed to create this false sense of urgency, of scarcity.
Right, pressure you into buying quickly.
Precisely. Pressure you into an impulse purchase before you have a chance to think critically about the product, the claims, the real value. It's a psychological trick, pure and simple, playing on that fear of missing out, FOMO.
Yeah, it reminds me of those shops that have a going out of business sale.
Yeah.
Sign up for like a year.
Exactly. That's a perfect analogy. You walk past thinking, oh, better hurry. But then months later, the sign's still there, maybe a bit faded. Same psychological play, just potentially much higher stakes here.
Okay, so let's quickly recap. We've got 3 massive red flags already. Incredibly broad, unbelievable claims, dangerous, unsubstantiated safety assertions, especially about allergies, and these classic high-pressure scam marketing tactics.
Any one of those should make you pause, definitely.
Anyone would be enough. But here's the detail that was, for me, the most shocking, the one that really crystallizes the deception. Our research found the ingredient list actually includes botulinum toxin.
Okay, yeah. If we connect this to the bigger picture, that ingredient revelation is profoundly serious. I mean, deeply alarming.
Right. Botulinum toxin.
It is, quite literally Botox. It's a powerful neurotoxin, and it's one of the most regulated cosmetic and medical substances on Earth.
Why so regulated?
Primarily because of its potency and the really severe risks if it's misused. So the idea of this substance being sold in a cream, just openly available without any medical supervision, and get this, for the price of a nice dinner, it just highlights monumental regulatory failures and massive health risks.
Wait, just so I'm clear. People are essentially buying something that contains Botox over the counter.
Yeah.
In a cream. What are the actual dangers there? Because when people get Botox professionally, it's very carefully done by a doctor.
Exactly right. When a trained medical professional administers Botox, it's injected in precise, tiny doses into specific muscles. They know anatomy, they understand dosage, they manage potential side effects.
Controlled environment.
Completely. But in a cream, you have zero control over the dose. No way to know if it even penetrates the skin properly, let alone consistently. And certainly no way to stop it from absorbing into areas you don't intend or causing systemic effects.
Systemic effects like what?
Our sources basically describe the implications as a public health crisis waiting to happen. Putting a powerful neurotoxin like that out there without professional oversight, it can lead to a whole range of severe side effects. Locally, things like muscle weakness, drooping eyelids, vision problems. But if it gets absorbed systemically, potentially affecting breathing or swallowing, it essentially turns a regulated medical procedure into a dangerous game of Russian roulette, all for this unregulated miracle.
Given just how audacious all this is, the claims, the dangerous ingredients, the scam tactics, this can't possibly be an isolated incident, can it? Is this just one particularly bad apple, or are we looking at a broader pattern?
Unfortunately, it is far from isolated. Our research confirms a wider and, yeah, deeply troubling trend. We found evidence that multiple similar bee venom brands have been exposed as scams across different regions.
Really, similar brands.
Yes, and what's particularly interesting and frankly quite disturbing is the identical pattern we see across these products. It's like they're all reading from the same script.
What's the pattern?
It's always the same. These miracle testimonials, the fake urgency marketing, impossible medical claims, and absolutely zero regulatory oversight. This consistency across different brand names, it really suggests a systematic approach to deceiving consumers. They're exploiting the same vulnerabilities, the same desires for quick fixes. It's not just one rogue product. It feels like a blueprint for exploiting trust.
But if it's so dangerous and seemingly widespread, why isn't it just immediately pulled? Where are the regulators in all this? Why are these allowed to proliferate?
That is such a crucial question, and it really speaks to the huge challenges regulators face globally.
How so?
Well, a big part of the problem is how these are sold and distributed. Many are exclusively online, often shipping across international borders. That makes it incredibly difficult for any single country's agency, like the FDA here or equivalents elsewhere, to police effectively.
The cross-border issue.
Right. Plus, these companies might mislabel ingredients, or they market themselves as cosmetics instead of drugs, which often have different, less strict regulations. It becomes a constant game of whack-a-mole for agencies trying to protect people from these sophisticated deceptions, especially when the manufacturers operate from places with lax oversight or deliberately hide where they're based.
Okay, so with all this talk about bee venom, and now even Botox popping up in creams, it begs the question, is there any legitimate science-backed research on bee venom at all? Or is it all just part of this, what was it, chaos theory in skincare form?
Yeah, that was a good line. And it's an excellent question. It's a really crucial distinction for you, the listener, to grasp. Yes, real bee venom research does exist.
Okay.
And it shows some potential, but for very specific conditions, mainly in areas like pain management for arthritis or certain inflammatory responses. However, and this is the absolute key, it is always done under strict medical supervision.
Not just slathered on from a jar.
Absolutely not. It's within controlled scientific settings, often using highly purified components of the venom, not just the raw stuff. What we're talking about today with this LBMLBM cream packed with wild claims and unregulated potent ingredients, it simply isn't that. This product is, as our source nailed it, chaos theory in skincare form.
So differentiate between the lab and the online ad.
Exactly. Differentiate between medically supervised, carefully calibrated applications of something with potential therapeutic value and the wild, unregulated commercial claims made by products like this one, which seem designed solely to make money, often risking consumer safety.
So wrapping this up, what does this all mean for us? This deep dive has really shone a light on the critical lessons from products like this bee venom cream. We've seen the telltale signs, haven't we? Like an essential toolkit for spotting dangerous fraud versus genuine innovation.
Yeah, the checklist is pretty clear now.
Right. Those over-the-top, unbelievable claims promising to cure everything, misleading safety assurances that just fly in the face of basic science like the allergy thing, manipulative marketing trying to create false urgency, and maybe most alarmingly, the presence of unregulated, potentially dangerous ingredients like botulinum toxin.
Absolutely. And being able to spot these red flags, it isn't just useful, it's really an essential defense in today's market, which is just saturated with products.
Protects your health and your wallet.
Exactly. It helps you recognize when a product is playing on your hopes and fears rather than offering real solutions. So, as we finish up, we want to leave you with this thought to mull over.
Yep.
In this increasingly crowded market of health and beauty stuff, how can all of us as consumers effectively navigate this flood of information? How do we truly tell the difference between genuine innovation and, well, weapons-grade nonsense, especially when these products operate in those murky legal gray areas?
That's a big question.
It is.
Yeah.
And maybe also, what responsibility do we have as informed consumers to question these claims, not just for ourselves, but for the wider community's safety?
Definitely something to keep in mind the next time you see a product promising the moon. And maybe Mars, too.